Well, I feel like shit. Which is ironic, because I've basically turned my body into a Silicon Valley startup. I'm overfunded, I'm overanalyzed, and I'm wildly underperforming. Garmin's on one wrist, I've got the Whoop on the other. An army of optimize your life emails hit my inbox every morning like a motivational SWAT team. And how embarrassing for me. Former Olympian, former founder, former six-pack. Is it even about health anymore, or just social signaling? Who here, like me, has a health tracker? Who's got one they no longer wear? Well, you're not alone in the graveyard of good intentions. Turns out half of us abandon ours within 12 months. The Journal of the American Medical Association did a 2-year study where they gave one half of the cohort a wearable and the other half none. To everyone's surprise, the group that actually had the wearable lost only half as much weight. The researchers put it down to something called outsourcing the effort to the device. It's something that happens far too common. Did you know that the average American spends 7 hours in front of a screen and only 17 minutes exercising? We are longer in the bathroom than we are in the gym. We literally spend more time sitting on our ass than saving it. And yet these apps, they applaud us, they clap, they say, Tyler, well done, just for wearing me for 3 days in a row. Meanwhile, I've stood still. And, well, my standstill happened a couple of years ago. Life kept stacking up, and my health, I thought, I'll just push it out, I'll pick it up when things calm down. Well, new home, new startup, new baby, things didn't really calm down. See, my newborn Max spent the first 3 weeks of his life in hospital with really serious breathing issues. When we finally got him home, he'd wake every night, 12 times a night, for almost 2 years. The only way he'd sleep is if I literally strapped him to my chest and settled him by walking. So that's what I did, night after night, over and over again. Until one night, something stops me in my tracks. My breathing. It's hollow, I'm gasping for air, like I've just completed a brutal workout, only I'm walking on violently flat ground, embarrassingly slow. I look at my tracker and I see a color-coded portrait of my decline. So, like any former elite Olympic athlete would do, I put my Whoop in a drawer to bury the evidence. I thought, this is just a moment in time, I'll get back to it later. Thankfully, a friend of mine calls me 3 months later. He's starting a health performance company, says, Tyler, I would love you to be an ambassador. I say, great. Now, I did know that ambassador was code for the before picture, but I thought through the program, maybe I could get to that elusive after picture as well. So I start this 90-day program. I'm 30 days in, I'm wearing the Whoop again, I'm taking the supplements, but I'm looking at my dashboard like it's my bank account when the Stanford tuition fees hit. I'm refreshing it, hoping it's not as bad as it looks. Where was my comeback montage? I call up the doctor, I say, Doc, what's going on? He goes, Tyler, what have you actually done? So what do you mean I'm taking the protocol? I'm doing what you said. He said, Tyler, you do not have a data problem. You've got a doing problem. And he was right. I wanted the peptide to do the push-up. I wanted the wearable to do the workout. So on day 31, I decided to start doing again. And doing did not look like the 5 a.m. starts of old or the 2 times a day hard, intense training sessions. I started by simply stealing movement from the edge of my day. There's a concept in science called non-exercise activity thermogenesis, or NEAT for short. NEAT is all the movement in your day that doesn't really feel like structured exercise. It's the running late for a class, it's dawdling on the phone with your friends. The Mayo Clinic has found that you can burn up to 2,000 more calories per day just by incorporating elements of this type of exercise into your day. So that's what I did. I started designing my day to incorporate this minor moments of inconvenience into my day. NEAT. Every phone call was a walk-in call. I'd park at the far car park to get those extra steps in. And at the playground, I'd stop scrolling on the sidelines and start playing with my kids. And finally, I did make it back to the gym. but largely because I planned to pick up a friend the night before, so it was kind of accountability disguised as friendship. And it's amazing what those little micro decisions ended up compounding to. Andrew Huberman, Stanford neuroscientist whose podcast has replaced therapy for probably half of Silicon Valley, talks about part of the brain called the AMCC, the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. This part of your brain physically grows larger when you do the hard things you don't want to do. It's also been known as your willpower circuit. And through 1,000 tiny decisions that barely registered at the time, I was slowly building back that circuit. And when I exercised, I had more energy, which meant that I finished my work in a somewhat timely manner, which meant I wasn't getting home at midnight, which meant I wasn't binge eating my feelings at 1 a.m., which meant that I was a better husband, which meant that my wife remembered why she actually married me in the first place, which calmed our entire household, which settled our kids, which helped them sleep, which helped me sleep, which made me want to move again. It's the best customer success flywheel I've ever built, and it's not just me. You see, UT Austin did a study that proves that just by exercising, your brain neural processing literally rewires. You don't crave the bad foods that we otherwise would. So, here's what I'm asking you to walk, ideally briskly, away from this talk with today. When life looms large, and it will, don't outsource the effort to the device. Don't even need to sign up for some crazy ultramarathon. Just try and build movement around the edge of your day. Think neat. Is it taking the stairs instead of the elevators? Is it planning a catch-up with your friend over a run? Is it bringing a smaller drink bottle to school so you're more inclined to fill it up more regularly? Find those movements, find the edge. And you'll be amazed what actually happens when you reframe this mindset. You will find millions of opportunities to incorporate just a little bit more movement, a little moment of inconvenience in your day that starts to rapidly compound into this amazing virtuous cycle. We've spent our whole lives engineering convenience into it. We've accidentally engineered the movement out. And look, I'm gonna keep wearing the wearable. I do like the data. My heart rate's been sitting at 100 this entire talk. And my shirt is having a rare Silicon Valley liquidity event. But these things didn't save me. What did make a difference was a small, sustainable, targeted attack on convenience. Y Combinator's Paul Graham says action produces information, not the other way around. It's true for business, and it's true for bodies. No one has ever thought or analysed themselves into momentum. We've moved into it. Remember, guys, these things are great at tracking steps, but they cannot take them for you. Thank you.